So, very good morning. I bid to our lecturer, Madam Shamima, for teaching the subject Supply Chain System Optimization. So, we are from Group 6. My name is Wen Sen, and the other group members are Chang Wan Yong, Tuan Shakir Adil, Lim Jumbing, and Lau Sin Le. So, our group has chosen to present the topic, which is overview of forecasting methods from forecasting and planning. So the first slide will cover fundamentals of forecasting. So there are two methods. First one is qualitative and the second one is quantitative. So for qualitative, it's based on subjective judgment, intuition, and opinion. It's often used when historical data is scarce or when predicting long-term technological changes. So the keywords you can observe are subjectivity, expertise, and consensus. Next one is quantitative methods. It is based on mathematical formulas and historical data. We assume past history is a reliable indicator of future trends. So usually we use statistics to forecast. So the keywords will be data-driven, objective, and mathematical. So the next slide, strategic context. Accurate forecasting is the backbone of efficient supply chain management, known as XCM. It determines inventory levels and drives continuous replenishment strategies. So look at the first point, just in time. In just in time, the advantage is to minimize inventory holding costs. This is because the manufacturer only receives the raw materials as soon as the moment they want to produce uh, or manufacture the products in the factory. Second is VMI, vendor managed inventory. This means suppliers manage stock levels. Third, cost of inaccuracy. So this problem leads to stock out, excess inventory, and lost sales. So when inaccuracy happens, these are the consequences.
Now, I will explain about forecasting time horizon. Forecasting time horizon are divided into category: short to mid-range and long range. Short to mid-range, this range focus on the intermediate future, usually from daily operation up to year. It is useful for inventory replenishment, which means planning when to restock item. Production scheduling, which help decide when and how much to produce. Workforce planning, which involve arranging manpower to meet demand. Second, long range. Long range forecasting cover a period longer than 2 years and look at strategy decision. It helps with new product introduction, such as planning product that we will launch in the future. F- Capital expenditure, meaning long-term investment such as buying new machinery. Facility location, deciding when to place a new factory or warehouse. Next, I will explain the different demand behavior pattern. There are three main patterns: trend, seasonal, and cycle. Trend. A trend shows a gradual long-term movement, either going up or going down. For example, if say keep increasing slowly over time, this is an upward trend. Seasonal. Seasonal patterns show repetitive movement that happen periodically. This could occur every month, every quarter, or every year, like higher sale during festival season. Cycle. A cycle is an up and down movement that happens over a longer period. It is not a regular as season. It can be influenced by economic condition, business cycle, or market changes.
On this slide, we present an overview of the three major categories of forecasting methods commonly used in business and supply chain management. These methods, time series, regression methods, and qualitative methods, each serve different purposes depending on data availability and the nature of the forecasting problem. First, time series methods. These techniques rely on historical demand data to identify patterns and project them into the future. The underlying assumption is that past behavior will continue, allowing us to forecast future demand based on established trends and fluctuations. Common tools within this category include moving average and opportunity smoothing, both of which help smooth out irregularities and highlight underlying patterns in the data. Second, regression methods. Regression-based forecasting focus on understanding and quantifying the relationship between demand and the factors that influence it. By developing mathematical models, we can identify how variables such as price, advertising, expectation, or economic indicators affect demand levels. For example, sales volume may be correlated with advertising spend, allowing organizations to predict demand based on planned promotional activities. Lastly, qualitative methods. These methods rely on managerial judgment, expert opinions, and subjective assessment rather than numerical data. They are particularly valuable when forecasting for new products or markets when historical data is available. Qualitative approach help organizations relieve internal expertise to form reasonable expectations about future demand. The next slide is the DeFi method. This slide introduces the DeFi method, a prominent qualitative forecasting approach frequently used when historical data is limited or when future developments are highly uncertain. Qualitative forecasting techniques rely on the informal judgment of experienced professionals such as managers, marketers, engineers, and procurement specialists. These methods provide expert insight over numerical data. The DeFi method is a structured communication process designed to gather and refine expert opinions. A panel of experts is engaged in several rounds of anonymous questions. After each round, responses are compiled and shared with the group, allowing experts to reconsider and refine their viewpoint in light of the collective feedback. This iterative process continues within a convergence of opinion, or consensus is active. The anonymity of participants ensures that the methods minimize the influence of dominant individuals and encourage truthful dispersed contribution. The DeFi method is therefore particularly useful for forecasting technological advancement, emerging market trends, and Strategy don't less decision when objective data may be insufficient.
Now I will present the time series logic. Before diving into calculation, we must understand the philosophy behind this forecasting method. This slide explains how we think when we use time series data. The key talking point is the core assumption. The most critical takeaway here is that time series model really on a single factor. This is time. We operate under the assumption that history repeats itself, meaning what happened in the past will likely continue to occur in the future. We are not looking at why demand changed, for example, marketing and weather, but simply looking at the historical pattern. The key technique is these are three main ways we apply this logic. First one is moving average. This is used to smooth out random variation of noisy in the data. Next is exponential smoothing. This is a more advanced version that gives more weight or importance to recent data point rather than treating all past data equally. Last is linear trend line. This is avoid fitting a straight line to data to see the general direction over time. Now we move to simple moving average SMA. We zoom in on the first technique mentioned, the simple moving average. This is one of the most common tools in inventory and supply chain management. When to use it? SMA is best used when demand is stable. It is not suitable for if there is strong trend, rapid growth or decay of seasonal pattern like holiday spike. The goal is to prevent the underlying pattern by smoothing out the jack, head, and rally of daily data. The logic is we calculate the average demand over a specific set of recent period called N. As time moves forward, we drop the oldest data point and add the newest ones. Hence, the name is called moving average. So the formula are provided in the slide.
Next, we look at the weight moving average or WMA. The main idea of WMA is that not all past data should be treated equally. Recent data usually give a better indication of future demand. So WMA allow us to assign higher weight to the most recent period. This makes the forecast more responsive to changes. The concept box explains that, unlike the simple moving average, WMA emphasizes recent data by using different weights. The logic is simple. Recent period matter more than older ones. On the right, we have the formula. We multiply each period demand by its weight and then sum the values. The weight must add on to 1.0. This help uh, this help us produce a more accurate and realistic forecast, which consists of several important steps. We begin with step 1, which is purpose. Here we clearly define why we are forecasting, whether it is for inventory planning, budgeting, or demand estimation. Next, we move to the step 2 and 3, which is data. In these stages, we collect its historical data and look for patterns. Good data is the foundation of accurate forecasting. Then we go through to the step 4 and 5, which is modern. This is where we choose the most suitable forecasting model and calculate the necessary parameter based on the data we collect. After that, we reach to the step 6 until step 8, which is check. We check how accurate our forecast is made and adjustment is needed. This ensures the model remains reliable. Finally, in the step 10, it is monitor. We continuously track the forecast result and monitor accurately over the time. Forecasting is not one-time activity and it needs ongoing review. This complex process helps organizations make a better decision and respond effectively to the changes.